when they did their Kurulun video, they thumb strummed the chords. They went, the Bernis Kurudun etnik with Mukurvash and Din. Well, if I'm giving specific points for finger strumming, but you will only ever thumb strum, then you probably can finger strum. But if you don't present that, I can't give you any points for that. So I'm going to make sure that you understand, all of the aspects of this. Okay, so I'm going to share screen, and I will tell you where I am all the time. Okay. So I'm going to Music 100 class, and in the modules, this is the first place you'll get to. There's the daily schedule, and here it says May 7th, which is today. And I'm going to click on that. Actually, I'm just going to pretend I clicked on it because I have it open right here. And here's what it says. We did a Zoom class today where we did all our midterm content. Okay. And you also tested yourself on chords. So let's go through the midterm content. Let's start with the performance stuff right here. Again, May 7th, that's today. You could just sort of bookmark this page and you'll have links to everything that you'd want for the midterm. The midterm is next Thursday, the 13th, okay? And on that day, you'll get a 15-minute one-on-one Zoom with me. So I'll have a Zoom class open all day long. You'll have a time assigned to you from early morning through to afternoon, where you pop in for 15 minutes. You're going to be ready to go, all tuned up, everything. Okay. And in 15 minutes, we'll do the following things. And I'm going to just do this with you right now. If you have your Ukes, you don't need to turn on your computer, your camera if you don't, but you could walk through this with me so you get an idea of the physicality of it. I'm going to check your tuning. So I'm going to say, play your strings slowly. And it'll be like, okay. And if something's out, I'll ask you to fix it. I might even suggest, put that one up a bit or that one down a bit. But tuning your instrument is a core skill in the class. You're getting tested on it for the midterm. If you're unable to tune your instrument by the end of the class, then you don't pass the class. I can't, in good conscience, say, oh, you can get out of this class, but you can't tune your instruments. So you're always going to sound bad, right? It's a simple thing. You can use an app, a tuner, a headstock tuner, something on your phone. Everybody pretty much has demonstrated that, but that will be tested now and at the end of the term. Okay, and then you're going to play a C major scale up and down from memory. So that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B up, and then C, and then down again. And that means you'll never, and for this one, we're never going to use fourth string. Okay, I know that that's a G note right there, but we don't do that, right? We're going to use all of the notes that we learned from our orange flashcards and correct fingering. So this is very important, and I'm gonna show you what that means. So correct fingering would be like this. So here's playing the C scale. And then down again. Just like that, no slower. You don't have to be like super fast. Or faster than that even, but you can't go slower than that. Otherwise you're cheating and looking and checking. You really don't know the notes. Okay. So, and correct fingerings. So we're going to just depart from midterm for a second, because I have a group of about 5 people in the class, I think, that when they've been doing their melody playing and stuff, they've been using 1 or 2 fingers for all their notes. Okay. So I'm going to take this moment and do this training for everybody. Just double check yourselves. If the note is on the 1st fret in home position, that means, we're using, all these notes, then use your 1st finger. If the note is on the 2nd fret, then you're going to use your 2nd finger. I'm not counting the thumb. Pianists, we don't do that. Thumb is separate. 1st finger, pointer finger, middle finger too. 3rd finger for 3rd fret. 4th finger for 4th fret, which would be for that B right there. Okay. So what I've been seeing on some of the videos that have been coming in, I've been trying to leave feedback, is somebody would be like, And you might say like, well, you're doing it, so what's the problem? And the problem is that two things happen. The first one is that if you're not using your fingers in place like this and forming this shape, so that if I've got a G here or an F right there, that you will never play very fast, because you'll be doing this all over the place with one or two fingers, and that's not useful. And it will never be consistent because you'll make mistakes, because the spacings of your fingers and the frets work together like a typewriter, so you can do things. And when we learn to play up here, again, we'll move the whole hand up and say, I'm playing in this position and doing these. It's very important to develop these forms right here. So this is testing that right there. Your C notes has all the basic notes. C would be on fret 0, right? Because nothing. D is your second finger. E is open. F is first finger right there, okay? And then third finger for the G, open, second finger, and right, okay? And then along with that, so if you're moving around with just one or two fingers to grab all these notes, what ends up happening is this: you look at your hand, because you know that you can't just blind place these things. You'll miss some notes, right? So when your hands are in position and each one has its place, and you keep your fingers close to the fingerboard when they're not in use, then you don't have to look at your hand, and they can all work in tandem together, right? So that's what this is testing. At its heart, you're just going C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then down. I'm looking for, of course, the right notes and the right fingerings. Also, one other thing, a lot of people do this, and this is also training for everybody to think about. If I'm playing a D right here, you'll see like this finger way out there, or these fingers way out there or something. Go watch yourself play in a mirror. You'll be surprised, right? How much you do this. This is just extraneous movement and tension in the hand, but also, look, you want your fingers close there so that when you play your F, you just move your finger that much, right? Barely anything at all. It's hovering right over the place where it needs to be. It's cheating. It's just right there. It's like saying, I'm going to play darts and I'm going to hold the dart like this far away from the place I want it to go on the dartboard, and then boom, right there. Very accurate, very fast. If you're having problems with accuracy, it's because you haven't developed this form, or you've got your fingers way off doing this, and as they come down, they can miss where they're going to be. You can go back now and practice to do everything slow. And in this case, at the beginning, if you're retraining yourself, watch your hands, okay? Because if you don't watch your hands, you'll go back to old habits. Go slow enough that if you babysit your fingers, you will play them in the right place and you won't move them off very far, okay? After you get that kind of down and you think about what that feels like, then play without looking at them, or play in a mirror or something like that, okay? But that's their C scale right there, okay? Third thing on the performance midterm, you're gonna demonstrate all these chords for me, and I'll have a list. Heck, you can have a list too, but you play them from memory. In other words, you won't have a chord diagram right there. This is what we're testing today, okay? So when you get into your sort of breakout rooms together, you'll be testing this, and I'll show you exactly how this would work. One person will have the list, and again, you could pre-test with me right now if you want. Grab your ukulele and see if you can do it in real time. And they'll say, hey, play the C chord. And you go, yes, okay, C chord. And they're looking for good shape, but that you played it right, and it's third finger right there, okay? I'm pulling my fingers away so you can see that, but you know, it'll look something like that, okay? All right, and then it'll be C major 7, right? And you know, they could go backwards, forwards on the list. C major 7 is 1 fret back, just like that. But notice that I didn't move my, you know, there's a standard fingering for it, which many people reported they did really, really well on those tests that we had recently, where you practiced or you did the worksheets and then you marked them, okay? C7, first finger, right? C6, A minor 7, okay? Now in the midterm, I might mix them up. You can test them any direction you want. F chord, first finger, second finger, right? G6 chord is the same thing as E minor 7, right? Right, put my second finger there, my first finger there. G chord, G7, A, A7, okay? I don't need to look at my hands. A minor, and then D minor, and you can play it with 2 fingers here, or 1 finger smooshing both of them, like that. I don't think the D chord is on the midterm. I don't think so. We're still working on that, okay? You have to play the shapes by memory. You know, you'll get some feedback today if it's taking you a long time to play those, if they're useful or not. That's what you're testing today, and that will be on the midterm as well. And then live for me, you'll play Lavender's Blue and Koodledoon exactly like the videos that you did last week and the week before, okay? So, except it'll be live for me. And there's new audio for these, and I'll show you where it is. They're a little bit faster than the ones that you were using. They don't have a lead in with me talking to you. They start. They count you in and they start. And it just requires you to be ready to go. Okay. Same formats. So and we'll show you what those are in a minute. But there we go. And that's your 15 minutes. Now there's some advice here. It says it's not good to ask for multiple retries on a task. It just, you know, you have 15 minutes. It's if you've got this all down, it'll take you 6, maybe 7. If you're, you know, struggling with something or a little nervous or something, that's fine, but 15 minutes is plenty. However, if you get to a place in one of these, whether it's a chord or playing something in a piece of music, if at all possible, try and get through it. There's more points there that way. It's tragic when somebody gets to the halfway through performance of Lavender's Blue and then their time's up and they don't get to do Koodledoon because they've been trying to get the C scale right forever, right? You know, expedite yourself through this. I'll try and help you. You'll be nervous. There's no way around that, but you have had multiple videos and chances to perform and now a chance to look at the feedback and reflect on that and get that right. Okay, so I suggest playing this and playing this again for yourself, for your cat, for your dog, for your sister, for your brother, anybody that will listen to you. You know, do it multiple times to alleviate that. Let me put it to you this way. Probably most of you have played these perfectly. Okay, some of you have not yet, but most of you have. The difference between playing it perfectly and not perfectly in performance then is not physical, but entirely mental, right? So you want to address how you're approaching your preparation for that. In other words, playing through these things another 100 times is useful, but playing through them, you know, with specifics, sort of like, how do I get through this part right here? Is there one place that if I get nervous about, it messes up the next thing? You want to look at how to alleviate and ameliorate the nerves part of it and how to feed yourself the information in real time. That's what you're practicing now, okay? In most cases. All right, simultaneously or on the same day, sorry, not at the same time, but by the end of the day, you'll make a video, 2 videos actually, of yourself playing and singing You and I, and there's no accompaniment track and there's no specific tempo, but there's instructions here. Play it, and you can use any strum pattern you want. It doesn't have to go super fast, but it has to be a filled out enough accompaniment so it doesn't feel like you just like this. You and I used to run along the shores. That's not really an accompaniment. You're sort of noodling through it, but like, you and I used to run along the sands, or yeah, sands, shores. I don't have the music in front of me. It's funny, I should know the lyrics. But enough so that it shows that. Now you could do this if you want. I've had some people, you and I used to run along the shore, and do some crazy things. You don't get extra points for that, but it's fun to see. Make it be a convincing performance. If somebody said, hey, can you play and sing me a song? You'd say, here it is. What if I don't sing on pitch very well? Well, do your very best. You're getting graded on your correct performance of rhythms and placement and being able to strum and vocalize at the same time. I never grade you on your pitch for this class because that's a different developmental skill and it gets better with practice, and I'll encourage you to do so. But okay, what else? It's got to have the steady beat, it's got to have the retard at the end, it's got to have all those things, and then the DC. And then the second video is you playing the melody with 50 beats per minute on a metronome. And I just want to demonstrate what that would look like, because that's not very fast. All right, and there's a reason for that. So there's my metronome and 50 beats per. Is that hearable? I hope so. Just to measure 12. Just like that, okay? You might go like, that's so slow, it's easy, but truth is that slow is really difficult if you're not in control, right? So, and we're looking for you to not look at your hands, except maybe a glance here or there, correct fingerings. So slow tempo demonstrates that you have this figured out, okay? And if you can't keep in time with the slow tempo, that shows me something. So there's that. All right, there it is. And you'll upload those videos. Let's keep going. Let's go back. May 7th. Here's the written midterm right there. There's a list of everything that's going to be on here. I'm going to show you those quizzes here in just a second. There'll be a bunch of mini tests. They're broken into sections, which means that you can take a break between them or you can spread them out through the day. One is note naming and correlation between the keyboard, fretboard, and staff, just like you've done on worksheets. Okay. And questions about what sharps and flats do. Another one is counting rhythms, identifying the counting of a rhythm, explaining the duration of a note, explaining how many of one kind of note fit into another note. So like 2/8 notes equal a quarter note, that kind of thing. One test just on triads and chords, the anatomy of them, how to spell complex ones, identifying triads and chords on the staff, the keyboard or the fretboard, and just, you know, the what's this chord on a uke diagram, or spell me this, or what are the fingerings. This is everything that we've done, nothing new, okay? But everything will be there. Scales, ask you to spell, describe, or notate major scales, and ask you to identify scales that are on a keyboard, right? Okay. And then complex questions. What are the 1 and 5 chords in a given scale or key, right? Maybe diagnose what's wrong with a harmony line or something like that because it doesn't match the chord, right? And then some theory things like what's physical resistance, what's mental resistance, what's a deconstruction technique. In other words, it's all the stuff that you've been doing in your worksheets and all the stuff in your like performance videos and everything that we've been working on. Here's where it all is. The all about the midterm is now there in the first page, right at the very front. And it's like, there's the what's in the written midterm. That's the thing we're just looking at. Here's all the things that are in the performance midterm. And here's where you upload your videos of you and I. Here's the midterm accompaniment audio. So when you come and play for me, this is what you'll use. And if I just click on this, you'll see that it's there, right? Same format that you did for your videos, exactly the same details, same order of everything. Use your music. But if you listen now, it doesn't have an intro or anything. It's just 1, 2, 3, and you'll be like 4. Lavender's blue, dilly dilly, lavender's green, and so on. So this is what we're going to use. Now, if you're practicing, note that you can change the speed on these. So you could practice a little slower if you need to get into it, work up to it. And then when you're really good at it, you could turn up the speed so that you get even faster at it. So when you come to do the performance, it feels slow at one point. for you. Okay. All right. And then finally, let's see. Here are all the midterm tests. Now, you can't get into them because they don't open till this day. But let me just show you. I think I'm going to show you these. I hope this is interesting for you. I'd go look at the descriptions. It says no notes, packet materials. You can have this. Note that you will have one question that requires you to record yourself playing a rhythm in time with a metronome. So keep a metronome handy. One question requires you to listen to an audio file. So it's timed. Okay. I think I'm just going to show you this test. So you can see. It's like, well, here's a rhythm and here's a bunch of, okay, counting, which one's the right counting and stuff. I guess that's not a good idea. I guess somebody could, if they were nefarious, they could stop this video and pre-count them and stuff, but I hope nobody will be a cheating liar face like that. That would be horrible, right? Okay, but you get the idea. Pictures, rhythms, which one's the correct rhythm, okay? They all have an explanation at the beginning. So even though they're not open yet, you should go check them out, right? Triads says, well, maybe it says, hold on. Says, you're going to need, you can have a keyboard with no names on the keys. You can have your uke, that's fine, right? And then you can preview it. Oh, sorry, you can't preview it right now, but it will, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it says like, what are the formulas for half steps between the root and third and fifth for each of the triads, right? Here's a bunch of spelling of triads, match them with their spellings. Here's a bunch of triads, match them with their spellings. So, hopefully if you're doing the complex sheets and you're feeling pretty good about it, you'll be in good shape. Check them out. Anyhow, they're all right there. They'll open up next Thursday, okay? They're exactly what we've been doing in class. Like there's no surprises, okay? But everything is in there too, okay? All right. Where are we at time? 9:27. Let me do this then. I'm going to train you to do the G chord correctly now. I'm going to stop sharing this right now. And I'm also going to take the recording and stop it as well now.